I care for God's people because I work with Yahowah, who happens to be God, and because I don't like it when nations or individuals or institutions do things that are caustic to humanity, and that's what I'm witnessing. I made a comparison earlier today between the gas of Qatar and the ZyklonB B that was the gas of the final solution. And the reason I made this comparison is that Qatar is the International Bank of Islamic Terrorism. They've not only funded Hamas, but they also fund the riots that are taking place on America's universities to protest the genocide that Muslims want against Israel. Qatar has gone on record to saying that they seek the destruction of Israel. And there is no more anti-Israel voice in the world today than the Emir of Qatar. And yet, Qatar is promising Donald Trump a several billion-dollar Trump Tower in Doha. They bribe him both with prestige to put his name on a building and with billions upon billions of dollars. And to lure him further into their grasp, they offered him a $400 million airplane that will cost upwards of $400 million to retrofit to the standards of Air Force One. It's nothing but a bribe, nothing but to play to Trump's disgusting ego. And so I compared the Qatari gas released by the bribable Trump and how it has become the ZyklonB of Islam's final solution to their Jewish problem, and recognize that Islam has sought the apartheid and genocide against Jews since Muhammad led the first Muslims to massacre them in Saudi Arabia. So the description then was ZyklonB. It was a gas can. It was approximately 12 by 16 centimeters. The description now is a Qatari natural gas ship, the QMax and QCmax LNG carriers, which are the largest in the world. The size now of a QMax ship is 345 meters, 1,132 feet long, 54 meters wide, 177 feet, and 35 meters high, 114 feet. They have a capacity of approximately 266 cubic meters, which is 9 million cubic feet of natural gas. The canister is a lot more explosive and considerably larger. The open can that was used to gas the Jews by the Nazification of Islam, I showed on my post, and it was pictured from the Auschwitz-Birkenau Museum. I wrote, after setting in motion the final solution to the Jewish problem, after Hitler's meeting with the Islamic Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, which is the chief Islamic religious leader, Mohammed Amin al-Husseini, on November 28, 1941 in Berlin, when and where it was decided that Jews would be exterminated rather than exiled. Previous plans of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis were to exile Jews after robbing them of their homes and property. But as a result of the meeting with Husseini, who did not want them exiled to Israel, they made the decision they would exterminate them. And they went to great lengths to find a mass extermination method after that date, and one that would allow them to reach the full potential of the extermination of the Jewish people in Europe as efficiently and effectively as possible. The choice was ZyklonB gas. It was a pest killer, and it turned out to be easy to transport, fairly easy to use. It was deployed at the behest of this Islamic religious leader's request to exterminate Jews because it was cheap, it was efficient, and of course it was painful. Auschwitz-Birkenau hosted the first experiments with the gas, and it was used against previously lice and other insects. Some 600 Russian prisoners of war and 250 Polish political prisoners were gassed in the basement of Block 11 in Auschwitz before it was turned into a concentration camp for Jews. The operation was deemed overwhelmingly successful by the Germans, who would use the same method to kill thousands upon thousands of Jews every day. ZyklonB was distributed in airtight tins. These contained pellets that, when exposed to air, released a poison, a liquid cyanide, which would annihilate thousands of people in a few seconds. After penetrating the lungs through inhalation, ZyklonB caused its victims excruciating pain, violent convulsions, and finally death via a heart attack. That's how the Nazis, at the behest of Muslims, murdered what became a total of 6 million Jewish men, women, and little children. This was the Nazi plan that was inspired by Muslims. And now the gas being used to exterminate Jews and obliterate Israel comes ready to transport in sealed Qatari container ships. All the Qatari Muslims needed was someone to open their deadly cargo in Israel. So the Qataris gave a bribable Trump the keys to a flying palace. Soon we will see if the conspiracy of chemtrails can be made real.